Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. Recently I got the brand new xTool F1 Ultra. I absolutely love this machine. It is so stinking fast and it does so much. I was able to deeply engrave this copper coin using the F1 Ultra. I would never have been able to do that with any other machine that I have here in my craft room. Not only that, I was also able to figure out how to cut metal with the F1 Ultra. Again, no other machine here in my craft room would have given me the ability to cut metal. So that's the other reason why I really love this machine. Now, there is an accessory that's only available to the F1 Ultra, and I have it here in the Craft Castle, and it is the automatic conveyor feeder. I have to be honest with you though, I've had this machine for a couple months, which also means that I've had the conveyor feeder for a couple months as well. And I've been a little intimidated by it. I think it might be the size of the box. I'm 5'9" and it goes past my waist. The other thing is I'm the largest skeptic, and I also don't like wasting any type of blanks or materials. So with that being said, what you're supposed to be able to do is throw down a whole bunch of stuff on this conveyor feeder. Take, for example, all of these keychains. They're exactly the same. What I'm supposed to be able to do is after I set up the conveyor feeder to the F1 Ultra, is I'm just gonna be able to throw down all of these keychains onto the conveyor feeder. Supposedly, I'm gonna be able to go into the xTool software and set it up using like one button, just click it, and it's supposed to automatically put them where they need to go, and I'm not gonna have a whole lot of setup. That is what I've been told, but do I honestly think that's the case? I am not entirely sure. So, because I don't like being wasteful, and then I'm also a skeptic, and also this box is huge, I have just been setting up this accessory because I don't want to be left frustrated at the very end. And if anyone knows anything about me, you'll know that I love frustration-free crafting. But at this point, I need to unbox this. I need to figure out if it actually works. So we are going to do this together. I'm going to show you how we hopefully set this up and how we hopefully get a really good engraving at the very end. Just like with anything else that I record here in the Craft Castle, I always do it as the very rawest of raw because I want you to see a true representation of whether or not this is a user-friendly tool or if it's like something we should just skip out on. So let's unbox this together, set it up, and hopefully by the end of it, we will have a bunch of really neat keychains that are finished and engraved. And if we don't have really cool keychains by the end of this, don't worry, I'm not gonna just try once because I have a whole stack of dog tags in 2 different shapes and colors. I'm gonna try it with that. And hopefully I don't have to keep going, but I do also have some necklace blanks too that I could possibly try if I don't succeed in the first, second, and third try. But hopefully we don't have to do that. Hopefully we can just stop at the wooden keychains and then be done with it. But you know, we'll see. All right, are you ready to see if whether or not this automatic conveyor feeder for the F1 Ultra is a buy or a pass? Let's go. Now, before I get to unboxing and setting up the conveyor feeder for the F1 Ultra, the very first thing I needed to do was move the F1 Ultra. And the reason for that is the conveyor feeder needs to lay right here, and then the legs need to come out on either side. If you watch the unboxing video for the F1 Ultra, you will know that it was placed right here, kind of where the original F1 was at. If I left it there, I wouldn't have been able to use the automatic conveyor feeder. So I had to bring out my little crafting table and put the F1 Ultra in the middle of this table. And actually, now that it's here, I think I'm going to keep it just like this. The reason for that is the crafting tables that I have here in the Craft Castle are actually pretty sturdy. But the other thing is I can drop the leaves down on my crafting table. They have caster wheels on the bottom of them, so I'm just able to roll it out of the way when not in use. So I think I'm going to keep the F1 Ultra on this table for now, just because it's really convenient to move it wherever I need it to go. And if I'm gonna use the conveyor feeder again, all I have to do is open up the leaves and then set the conveyor feeder up. So I actually really like the way that this setup looks now. Now that I got this unpackaged, this kind of reminds me of being at the grocery stores when you put all your groceries from your cart onto the conveyor belt for the cashier to ring up your groceries. Kind of the same type of concept. The box is pretty simple. It just had a cord, a couple things that I think I'm gonna have to screw together. This black sheet, not really quite sure what it's for. A little screwdriver hex key thing. And then also the assembly guide. All right, setup process is done, and it was actually really easy. Only a few little screws. However, I'm still not entirely sure what this is for. I'm assuming that this is just spare material, that every single time you get anything from xTool, they always send spare engraving material, and I'm pretty sure that's what this is, but again, not entirely sure. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on the F1 Ultra and then go to the computer, and hopefully we can get something really cool engraved on our very first try. Do you think that I am going to be able to get engravings perfect on the very first try? Let me know in the comments of this video, but also please give me a crafting prayer. I love when things just work out at the very first try. So fingers crossed. All right, let's go. Okay, to make this project really easy, I'm just gonna go to creativefabrica.com and download an SVG file because I really don't wanna have to design my own SVG file today. Now, if you have never been to creativefabrica.com, you need to go today because it is my go-to website for SVG files when I just don't want to make SVG files, like today. I was scrolling, I just put in keychains into the search field and a whole bunch of things popped up. I like this one in particular because of this thing right here. It says, "Be kind to your mind." Love this. So I think this is going to be a perfect SVG file. I'm just going to press download. And then we are going to open up a new window in xTool's Creative Space. Looks like I need to do an update, so let's do an update. As we wait for the firmware to update, all I'm going to do is find that SVG file that I downloaded over on Creative Fabrica. All right, now that it's complete, all I'm going to do is press confirm. And then all I'm going to do is drag and drop that SVG file into xTool's Creative Space. So this is my SVG file. Okay, now what we need to do is just a little bit of edits here because everything is ungrouped. I am just going to press this unite button and that's just going to make it all one image. So it's going to be easily engravable onto my keychains. Then what I need to do is size my engraving that I need for my keychains. So my keychains are 1 inch by 2.5 inches long. So I only want my engravings to be no more than 3/4 of an inch wide. So I'm going to come over here and do the width at 0.75 and press return. Now what I am going to do is come up here into user defined materials, and I'm just going to find a material that closely resembles what I have for these keychains. I'm not entirely sure what these are, but let's do 3mm black walnut plywood. So I'm going to be using the F1 Ultra today, and I'm going to be using the 20 watt. I'm going to be using the blue light, and I am going to engrave this. So it says that I need power 70, speed 200. So then all I need to do is come over here and I'm going to do power 70, speed 200. Hopefully these are really good settings. I'm not entirely sure. So let's just click out of that. Okay, now what I need to do is come over here to the processing mode and I need to click that. And I need to use conveyor batch. Batch fill may not be necessarily accurate for materials that are reflected, perforated, looped, hollow. That's not me. Okay, now what I need to do is press refresh. I love that the xTool program tells me exactly what I need to do when I need to do it. Okay, so then before we do anything more, you're gonna see that I have these 2 dots right here, right? They need to be in line with the material that you're gonna be engraving. So this is what I'm gonna engrave. I'm gonna put this down right here. Now you see how these 2 dots, make this nice and flat, there we go. Okay, you see how these 2 dots aren't together? What you need to do is now take this thing right here and you need to go up, making it to where these 2 dots overlap each other. Perf. Okay, now what you wanna do is just lay this here. Well, we're gonna just put it right in the middle. And then I've already unboxed all the rest of these, so I'm just gonna lay these down, kind of making sure that they're nice and flat. I'm just going to put them in areas because essentially what they say is I'm going to be able to put these all around everywhere and they are going to engrave perfectly. I'm not going to have any mess ups. We'll see. Okay, so I have this one. This is the one that I'm going to set up on, and then I have all the rest of these that I want to engrave the same exact engraving on this one on all the rest of them. But I have them, you can see that they're kind of, you know, staggered and stuff like that. We'll see if this actually works or not. Okay, now that I've set everything up, I was too excited. I pressed refresh too quickly. Now what I need to do is take this right here and I'm going to put it onto my keychain. I already have my settings set up. Frame out material. Move or resize the bounding box to include the material of which your design, the processing object, so as the material. Okay, so yeah, this looks good. Let me just make this just a little bit larger. So essentially the xTool is telling me exactly what it is that I need to be doing, and I'm just going to press fill. Oh, okay. So I'm like, where are the directions? Because it says read the directions. Let me just read the directions. So we're going to come up here, just click on that read directions. It says step 1, install. We've already done that. So now we're going to press next. Then it says place the material. Click refresh. Already did that. Great. Now it says in the canvas, design a processing object. We've done that. Set processing parameters. We've done that. It's almost like I didn't even need to read the directions. Okay, then it says move or resize the bounding box. Then it says click process to start batch processing. After the first material is processed, you can place multiple materials for processing. Okay, let's just press that. Okay, so it's pretty much saying that we are ready to go. That's what I've read here. Let's just make this a little bit bigger. I mean, everything looks good. Yeah. All right. Let's just press go to process. The smart fill may be unsatisfying due to unfavorable ambient light or material source. There is a solution. But let's just press got it because it's going to engrave right here. We're going to press got it. Sure, let's just press start. Okay. Now what? Oh, look. Okay, all we need to do now on the xTool is press this button right here. Now, because we're using the blue light, well, honestly, you need to be doing this even if you're doing the infrared. You should close the lid. However, I'm not going to, just so we can see exactly what the machine is doing. So I'm going to be using these blue light lens things just so I can protect my eyes. So I'm going to put those on. It's very fashionable. Okay, then all I'm going to do is just press this button right here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. It just knocked down all of my material on the conveyor feeder. What is this? Okay, so first, this turned out really cute and very quick to engrave. It's pretty center. I think it could be even better. I think it's probably centered to this. However, I want it to be centered to this, but you know what? It still looked really cute. Okay, so we got one successful one. I think what I need to do is only put one down like that. We are going to try this again. I'm just gonna press go to process. I think what I need to do is engrave once and then lay my stuff down. Okay, so it says it's ready, so we're just going to press that, let this one engrave. Oh my goodness. It just automatically went. It recognized the material and it automatically went. Now, it didn't get this one right here. So I'm going to move this one and put it over here. And it's actually in the center. Do you see that? Oh my gosh, it's getting this one now too. Ooh, you know what? I just moved that one to the far left. I sure hope it doesn't want to engrave that one, because I did move the far left one. Oh my gosh, and it just did it again. How cool. I don't think it's going to get these two right here. I'm going to keep it here just in case, but I don't think it's going to get those. However, look at these finished products right here. They are perfectly centered and engraved automatically. Like, I didn't have to do anything. How cool. I don't know if you can tell, but this one right here is centered perfectly. This one right here is centered perfectly. Wow, my mind is blown. I'm not entirely sure why it took me forever to set this thing up. It is really neat. Like I said, I don't think it's going to get these two or this one right here, but that's okay. Do you see how it's engraving at an angle? Oh, that's really neat. I know for sure it's not going to get this one. All right, these last two, and look, it just, how cool. How cool is that? All of these turned out so neat. Okay, so the machine isn't going to do any more engraving because there's nothing more to engrave, right? Oh, my last two, that's a bummer. Okay, bummer days. So every single one of these turned out perfect. There's not a bad engraving. This one didn't turn out very perfect, as in like it's not as deep right here, but the centering of it, the like alignment of all of these engravings turned out great. Why did the last two not turn out great? I'm not entirely sure, but out of 10, I had 2 mess ups. I would say that that is not bad at all. I think that this thing is seriously so cool. 8 out of the 10 full keychains that I have created perfectly. So I'm feeling invigorated. Like, invigorated, is that even a word? Like, I just feel like, yes, I'm gonna do more. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to unpackage all of these dog tags. I have 10 dog tags. Do you think that this is going to work just as well as the keychains? I think they are. I have full faith that we are going to have success, but we'll see. All right, just like what we did earlier, we are just going to take one, put it down here. You want to make sure that the 2 dots are perfectly aligned onto your thing. It looks like it's a little off, so I'm just going to make sure, oops, and make sure that they're aligned. Okay, making sure that I have all of these put on there. These are like really nice blue dog tags. What I've learned very quickly is that you only want to start with one in the processing area when we first set this up. Okay, so just like this is how we're going to set it up. One right here, the rest I unpackaged and put it over here. Okay, so now with those dog tags, the same setup as what we did earlier. All I need to do is just press refresh. This is what our screen looks like. Now all I need to do is let's go over here into user defined material, do xTool materials, and I need to find a dog tag setting that will work perfect for the F1 Ultra. Okay, this one's it, and I'm going to do the F1 Ultra IR. Oops, I want to change this over to engrave. So the settings that I need to do are going to be 80 power and 1500 speed. 80, 1500. Okay, I'm just going to do something really cute and funny. I think that this would be perfect, like if you were doing a craft show. What you could do is have all of these already engraved on the front, and if you had the portable F1 like I do, you'd be able to take the F1 to the craft show and engrave on the spot the personalizations on the back of every single tag. So you can have most of your product already set up for a craft show to do engravings on the fly. So all I'm going to do is just find a font that works really well in like a small, because it's going to get really small, you know? So I'm going to do just this one. That'll be all right. So now that I have this all figured out and I like the spelling of everything, I'm just going to press weld, and I'm going to turn this over into an engrave. And it was, 80, 1500. And we're going to do 200. Okie dokie. Now we're going to put this. Okay, I think that this is going to be so stinking cute. What do you think? Do you think it's going to work out? I think it's going to. Okay, doing the same thing we've done before. Now that I have my settings set up, I have it refreshed. All I need to do is frame out the material. Now it did say reflective stuff. I don't know if these dog tags technically are reflective, like what they're saying. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, it seems like it worked out really well, right? So let's just press fill. Okay, now all we need to do is press go to process. It's going to shoot for the material. It recognized the material. All right. Then all we need to do is press start on the computer, and then going over to the machine. All we have to do is just press the button on our thing. That took a whole 6 seconds. And now we're processing. Look at how good this turned out. It's like centered, perfectly centered on that dog tag. And it recognized every single one of these tags, and all of the tags are now done. Look, every single one of these tags turned out. So all the automatic feeder is doing is making sure that there's nothing more left on the feeder that it needs to engrave, which it doesn't. So like I had said earlier, these are done now, right? They're fully engraved. However, if you were going to a craft show, what you could do is have them already engraved like this. Then when you take orders at the craft show, all you need to do is just put in the personalization number on the very back of this of like who to call. Now, you would not be able to do this type of project on the conveyor feeder if you wanted to add in the different personalizations. Let's say that you had 10 tags and you wanted 10 different phone numbers and names. You would not be able to do that because it would be all different. You wouldn't want to use something like this. However, because I did the same exact engraving on every single one of these tags, we didn't have any issues. I love when crafting days just end up being easy. And to be honest with you, now I kind of feel a little silly because I was intimidated by this thing, and I don't know why, because we didn't have any problems. I had 10 of these keychains and only 2 messed up, which is totally okay for my very first time. I learned some things and made the changes over at the dog tags, and none of my dog tags ended up messing up at all. How stinking cool is all of this? Now I'm going to find a whole bunch of random things to engrave and just start batching all of the engravings. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I'll see you later.